JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 1st of September, guys, so 2021. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this first autumn trading day, guys. So yep, of 2021, of course. So yep, I hope you had a wonderful summer. So I hope everything worked out well for you this summer. But now, yep, let's step into autumn, and yeah, guys, let's see what the market has prepared for us this fall. So before we continue, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So check us out here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So now then, jumping into the chart. So the first trading day of September for Nikkei was quite a good one, I would say. It did push further north, and this is what I talked about recently, that if we break this little short-term downside resistance line taken from the high of the 15th of June, then yes, I will aim for that 100-day EMA initially, then the 28,280 zone, or even for this next barrier, which is the this other downside resistance line taken from the high of the 16th of February. And yep, then we'll take it from there. So first we'll see how it performs around here. If it gets a hold up, maybe we could see a bit of a corrective move lower, but for now everything seems to be a little bit more on the positive side for Nikkei. Shanghai Composite, very quickly, quick update. So yesterday I talked about this one and I said to you that wait for that pop above the 3,544 level, which we got, and yep, it did push higher, and then basically it kind of ended its way to the 3,576 level, which I've mentioned as well, and that's the high of the 22nd of July. And if I'm not mistaken, actually also no, that's not the highest point of July. The highest point of July is around here, but either way, it's still a good area of resistance, which we managed to reach. Slightly overshot it a little bit, but that's okay, I would say. Most importantly, that it continues to trade above this 3,544 zone, and if it does that, then yes, like I said, I will continue aiming higher. If it starts falling back below it, then I'll take a bit of a neutral stand here, but I'll get a little bit more excited with the downside if we get a move back below this downside line, which I've mentioned to you guys yesterday. Now the German index DAX, so we had a bit of a roller coaster ride, and yep, yesterday was quite an interesting day here. So from the technical side, we can see that first of all, we broke above this upper side of the triangle. The index made its way higher, but didn't really reach the current all-time high near the 16,033 mark, and instead it drifted back down and actually drifted back inside the triangle and stayed inside that pattern, and also it did test the lower side of the triangle as well. So basically all these sides have been tested, so that's quite an interesting move here that we had. So In other words, I would say for now to be a little bit more on the careful side. I mean, we do have, well, the cash index is trying to get back above this upper side of the triangle. It's currently sitting at around 15,890 zone, so somewhere around here basically. Can it remain above this barrier? Well, we'll just have to wait and see, guys, because at the moment, as long as it stays above this upper side of the triangle, then yes, certainly we could continue aiming higher and aiming for that current all-time high. But if it suddenly drops back inside the triangle, this is where we'll take a bit of a neutral stand. But if it starts falling somewhere below this upside line, now that's where we could maybe consider a bit of a decline, especially if the index also falls below the 15,700 territory right here, marked near the low of the 26th of August. The S&P 500 also did have a nice move higher initially, however, failed to reach the all-time high, which is currently near the, let me just zoom in here, near the 4,537 level, and instead started drifting back down. And as you can see, the index yesterday corrected a little bit lower, closed in the negative territory for the day, but again, don't get me wrong, that might be just seen as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. But for that, I would prefer actually to see, if we want to aim for the upside, of course, I would prefer to see a push above that 4,537 territory, just because we're very close to it, and just to be a little bit more on the safe side, yep, break above this area would confirm a forthcoming higher high. In terms of the downside, now this is where from the very short-term perspective, I would say, because again, from a medium-term perspective, you can see that we are trading above this little tentative upside line taken from the low, the 4th of March, and in a way, yes, I mean, as long as the price stays above it, then certainly, yes, we could consider continue aiming for the upside. However, from the very short-term perspective, now you can see that we are, let me just zoom in here, we are trading here above this little tentative upside line, a steep one, but nevertheless an upside line. And let me just draw it properly here, so something like this. Currently, yes, like I said, it is the one to watch, because if you're looking for some downside in the very near term, then yep, at least wait for a break of this upside line, and maybe also a drop below this little level. Let me just put this one on the chart very quickly. Maybe a drop below this little level right here, the 4,513 zone, could do the trick for a few more sellers, because at the same time, yes, we would be already placed below this upside line, and this area here acted as a very nice area of resistance and support recently, so as you can see by the chart. So a nice good drop below that 4,513 territory could potentially open the door to slightly lower areas in the near term. I can see in the chat room, yes, Evo, good morning to you too. I hope you're having a wonderful start of Wednesday. So yeah, DXY, the dollar index, everything's working according to the plan. Yesterday I mentioned that one. I said that if this area here, approximately around here, it continues to provide somehow support, then yes, maybe a bit of a rebound here could be possible, where we could aim for that downside resistance line taken from the high of the 20th of August. And as you can see, it did move that, it did exactly that, so didn't really quite reach the downside line, but just kind of came very, very close to it, and instead it tested the 21-day EMA and got a little hold up here. So if we're looking for the upside, then certainly wait for a break of this downside line, and then yes, we could maybe consider, like I said, a push a little bit further north. However, for the downside, well, I would like to see a drop, a good drop, and a daily candle body staying below this 92.47 zone in order to go for some lower areas. Jumping into gold very quickly. So the yellow metal here, as you can see, continues to trade above this upside line. I talked about this, and I said that if this upside line does its job, continues to do its job, then yes, we could see a nice good push higher here again, and this is exactly what's happening right now. So we're seeing that rebound, and yep, we're pushing north. However, just if you want to be a little bit more on the safe side, I would say keep your eyes on the high of the 30th of August here, which is the current highest point of this week, near the 1823 level. If we clear that, then yes, we'll go for some higher areas, but if we don't, then well, it could, yes, we will kind of stay cautiously bullish, I would say then, but again, like I said, just for that extra confirmation, wait for that break above this barrier here, and then yes, we could go for some higher levels. For the downside, now I would prefer actually to maybe see a drop, of course, break of this upside line, and then a drop below the 1809 level, approximately around here, and yep, maybe then we could see a bit of a larger I wouldn't say correction, because a bit of a move here lower in the near term. Let's put it this way. WTI oil, so still holding to this hurdle, this area, and this area around this 21-day EMA. So as you can see, we're now seeing a nice good push higher, or at least trying to get back to the upside, as you can see. But there are a bunch of obstacles that one should remember to keep an eye on, and that's of course the 69.60 level here, marked by the high of the 12th of August, and of course this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 6th of July. And if one of these areas here, or in general not one of the, but the area here around in between these levels, between these lines, does provide resistance, then certainly maybe another slide could be possible. However, looking at this picture, the further we go up, probably this is where I need to adjust my level for the downside. So probably I would start looking at something. Let me just quickly double check this. So something like this here. So 67.47, approximately around here. A nice good drop below it may open the door to slightly lower areas here. And then we would take it from there, of course, because again, yesterday I talked about this hurdle, but we might be missing out on a bit of territory here. So in this situation, probably I'll say that if we drop somewhere below the 67.47 territory, depending on how this is going to shape up, maybe the 100-day EMA could already approach this level as well, and basically a nice good drop below it, but could kind of increase the chances for WTI oil to drift a little bit more to the downside. So yep, keep your eyes on that one, guys. Now Ethereum, jumping into crypto. So Ethereum is doing quite well. This is the level that I talked about yesterday, guys, and I said to you that keep your eyes on when I was covering Ethereum, I said to you keep an eye on this 3,381 territory, because that was the at that time the highest point of August. But as you can see, yesterday we overcame that and created a new high for August, and yep, we continue to push higher. Today this level, the 3,381, did its job and acted as a good area of support, from where the crypto rebounded and made its way higher again. Now the hold up is occurring near this inside swing low of the 13th of May, guys, and that area is roughly around the 3,521 zone. So long story short, basically keep your eyes on this area, because maybe could be seeing here a little maybe correction afterwards if this barrier here holds. If it does hold, then yes, like I said, a bit of a corrective move back down could be possible. If so, then also something for you to keep in mind, that maybe, just maybe here, we could be getting a nice little rising channel pattern. So in terms of the downside, again, like I said, that's the scenario for the downside. But in terms of the upside, of course, if it breaks the upper side of this little kind of well, it's too early to talk about this being a range, so probably I'll keep this as my secondary option. But if it pushes through that 3,521 area, then yes, and let's say stays above it, then yes, of course, we'll continue targeting the upside. Litecoin is a little bit on the more modest side. You can see that we are coiling up here a little bit, so let me just put this on the chart. And yep, so we are kind of getting into a bit of a squeeze here, and forming somewhat of a triangle here. So in other words, if we clear one of these sides here, if we break one of these sides of this little triangle, then of course this would confirm if this could lead to a change here or let me just rephrase this. This could result in the next. It could show the next directional move. There we go. Managed to squeeze this one out. So yeah, it could lead to the next directional move. So if we break this little downside line here of the upper side of the triangle, then certainly yes, higher levels could be met. And given the fact that before entering this little pattern here, the prevailing trend was to the upside, so in a way, according to all the TA rules, then these kind of this could break out here higher. However, again, let's not rush into anything. Let's wait for that break first, and then see if it actually works out this way, because if by any chance it suddenly reverses back down and kind of, let's say, maybe classes this as this little pattern here, if it sees this as maybe as a head and shoulders pattern, then certainly yes, we have our neckline here, and if that gets broken, then yes, lower levels could be met. So that's why I'm saying always wait for that confirmation break first, and then yes, we could try to do something about it. Gbp Chf, so good move here higher, so broke the downside line taken from the high the 6th of July, and yep, now it seems to be moving further. It seems to be wanting to move further north. I would say that as long as it stays above this downside line, then yes, I will aim for some higher levels. My next target will be this 0.6804 territory right here, marked by the high of marked by the highest point of August. Quick update on USD JPY, so having a good push higher here, as you can see. So yesterday we had a bit of also a roller coaster ride here. The bulls and the bears were not decided what to do, and yep, now we're seeing that the bulls are taking control here and trying to push this pair through these little short-term downside lines. And as I mentioned to you yesterday, that in order to get a little bit more comfortable with higher levels, then certainly yes, a push maybe also above this 110.58 level would be needed. US dollar against the Russian ruble, and here you can see that we have a move lower, and yep, I do like to look at these exotic pairs sometimes, and you can see that we managed to break again the lower side of the triangle, and we're currently still trading below it. So that kind of gives a bit of a signal here for the sellers, or should I say, could give a potential signal for the sellers, and yep, we could see maybe lower levels being met. However, probably on the slightly cautious side. If you want to be on that side, of course, you could wait for a drop below the 72.68 territory right here, marked by the lowest point of August, just to be a little bit more on the safe side. A nice good drop below it, yep, may open the door towards the low, the 29th of June right here, or towards the lowest point of June near the 71.55 territory. But again, like I said, keep your eyes on this area for now. Keep your eyes on the 72.68 territory, and if that gets cleared, certainly yes, we could see lower levels being met. The US dollar against the Turkish lira, and this one's interesting as well. As you can see, we seem to be trading lower, creating lower highs here, but we're still struggling with this little hurdle. Let me just put this one on the chart very quickly. So there we go. We're struggling with this 8.2645 zone, approximately around here. That's the lowest point of June. And yeah, you can see that we had an opportunity to test it a few times here. Once in August, in the beginning of August, then at the end of August, and now we're coming closer again to this level. And let's see if it finally surrenders or not. If it does, then yes, certainly this will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and yeah, further declines could be possible. Gbp Chf very quickly. So this one is quite interesting because, as you can see, we are stuck. It seems like we're in a falling wedge pattern overall, but from the very short-term perspective, we're now climbing higher. So what I would say right now is that maybe don't even consider this as a falling wedge at the yet. Just for example, let's keep an eye on these on this downside line taken from the high of the 5th of April, and of course keep your eyes on this little short-term upside one taken from the low of the 23rd of August. Now so far we're trading above it, and we're currently getting a little hold up here below the 100-day EMA, shown as the green line. If we clear that, area, if we clear that EMA, then yes, it could open the door towards this downside resistance line, which could be tested, and then we'll just have to take it from there. So for now, from the very short-term perspective, that's what I'm going to be looking at here. And if, like I said, if we push above this this 100-day EMA, which is roughly around the 1.2635 zone right now, and yes, we could go for some higher levels. And finally, EURUSD. So very quickly on this, guys. The holdup occurred, and this is what I talked about from the beginning of this week, guys, that initially I'm going to be aiming for this downside line, which, as you can see, we managed to come very close to and test. It got a hold up here, and then the pair started drifting back down. So far, everything's working according to plan. My next little target, if we do drift back down here, my next little target here is the 21-day EMA. But if that gets broken, then I'll aim for that 1.1735 level. But that's, of course, if the this downside line continues to provide resistance. If this downside line gets broken, then certainly, yes, this could open the door towards some higher levels. So guys, that's it for this session. I really appreciate your time, guys. Thank you very much for watching and listening. And if you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, at my Traders Espresso, that's 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful trading day. Stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.